this is part 2 because my mother called. Of course, she's not saying where she is. She's just trying to check up on me. She's trying to seem like she's the better parent. Being like, at least I'm talking to you. You know, I hate both of them right now. But, as I was saying, the last thing I was saying was talking about my dad. He has, countless times, invited my mother to lunch and dinner and out places, and she's always said, no, it's too dark out, it's too late, I don't want to eat that late, I don't want to go out here, why do we have to always go here, blah blah. Probably because we live in a town and these are the places around, and so we'll rotate around those places, right? And even if it was farther, my mom would say, no, I don't want to go that far. So, there's a hypocrite right there. So, my dad has asked countless times, hey, you want to go to dinner? Want to blah, 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 blah. I'll pick up something for you. Blah. But when it comes to like a big thing, it's a big deal because it's big money. But no, my mom says, no, I'll just make myself a sandwich and eat at this table while I'm always on my phone, tablet, hours. I think I'll take a nap in the middle of the day and put my sleeping schedule in the middle of the day and then some at night. That totally works out for everyone's schedule. If we want to invite you to something, no, I need my nap. I'm tired. And then when you're down there, you're on your phone. It's just... And when this whole thing started, whole debacle after my dad got back from vacation, she did the worst thing you can do. Instead of being by yourself and thinking about this and being like, what are the pros and cons? Why am I doing this? Why? And just thinking. Because when you make a decision that will affect many people, you have to think. You have to be alone and you have to think about this. Write it down on paper. Make a graph. Being like, okay, well if this, then this, then this, then maybe this. If then, pros, cons. You should wake up every day and try to better yourself in one way or another. If you don't, your morals will become stale. And you don't want that. You want to have top-notch morals. But you might as well think, well, if I'm into the mid-late 50s, then what the fuck does it matter? Fuck it, I'm gonna die. Puh. That's like opening... That's like putting a hole into a boat that we're all on. That's exactly what that is. That's like you're like that many feet into the air in a plane, and you're like, one parachute. Fuck it, I'm taking it, I'm opening this door. Peace, everyone. The air gets all sucked out and the pressure and everything, and the plane crashes. Well, someone has a parachute made of money. That's what that is. Put a hole into a boat, everyone sinks, and you're going off into a rafter of money, because that's all you can think about. So, I'll state that what the problem that my mom did when this first happened. And a lot of people do this, and I will say they are wrong, because it's not the best thing you can do. When there's a problem that is family orientated, and you tell, even if my parents individually tell me, this is our problem, not ours, but like, problem is between two people. But yet, my mother goes off and is like, hey, I'm gonna tell this problem to all of my friends. I'm gonna tell this problem to everyone I know, but tell them only one side, so they can create a biased opinion. I'm gonna tell them one side, and I'm gonna over-exaggerate it, so my friends and family can create an unhealthy hatred for the other person in the marriage. Yet, it is not my mom's friends' problems. Yet, it totally shows that she needed someone to tell. Like a therapist. Oh, my friends are my therapist. It's not their problem, but they need to know every detail so they can create an unhealthy hatred for the other person. That is not fair. That is not fair. That is not nice. Look at what I'm doing now. I'm telling no one. I don't know who's gonna watch this, who I'm gonna send it to so they can understand this, but just know I'm gonna tell both sides. From what I know, from what I understand. Because my dad, he doesn't really have too much time to have friends. He has co-workers there, buddies. But when he's at work, he's at work. And he works. I know, it's weird. I'm making my dad look good. Because I'm talking about when my dad is at work, he's working. He works hard. From what I know. He's been working with the same company for a long time, most of his life. It's hard to say that, wow, when my mom works and she's at her job, see the problem here? She doesn't have a job, and she thought in her life she was going to be financially dependent on one person. Yeah, she did have a job, and then she didn't, and then she got a job like the day after she left, Boardwalk. And then she said no to that job because she's like, oh, it's too much. And that's another topic. My mom, some days ago, she's like, I'm going to try playing on the PlayStation, her favorite game, Ratchet and Clank. And it's been a while since she's been playing video games, but I've, for many, many years, saying, hey, we should play a game together, so we can have a moment, like a family moment, but just you and me. Because I miss when we played video games, Mom. And we tried it, and then all this hell broke loose, and now she's trying again. And I check up on her, and I see that she's getting frustrated at the game. And then the next day she tells me, like, I was trying to play, but I just was having trouble at this one part in the game, and it just got frustrating. And I'm thinking, wow, if you're getting frustrated at a video game, your favorite video game, that should bring you back some good memories of when the family was together and a bit more better. If you're having trouble with that, good luck being financially independent and getting a job. Good luck. Good luck. It's sad, like, oh, you can't even enjoy a video game. That's what they're made for. And yet, good luck getting a job in your life. Yes, I know my mother's taken care of me, my brother, my father. When it comes to being raised, she fed me and made sure, got me to school and, the essentials. When it came to lessons, being taught how to tie my shoes and being taught, important lessons, growing up and learning stuff about financial shit, like, I got my W-2. I don't know what the fuck to do with that. I don't know anything about taxes or personal finances or credit. The school didn't teach me, my parents didn't teach me. Parents taught me enough for a bank account. That's it. Yep. Tying my shoes, I learned from Blue's Clues. There was a scene in there. And people in 2nd grade. Schoolmates, they taught me. Teachers. Like one-on-one, because I was a sped. So, what I've found over time is that I don't know where I was going with that. I was just gonna just say again that my parents have just never wanted to sit down, and I believe it's both of my parents have this ego, and I know I brought this up to my mother. She's like, "Me, look at your father," and I'm like, "No, I'm not talking about comparing you two next to each other. I'm talking about individually." They might think they're too good to sit down and talk. You might be thinking I'm crazy for thinking this marriage could be resurrected. And yes, I think it could, but only because I don't think it's ever really started again. Started anew. There's never been a point where it's like my mom and dad been like, "Oh, good, now that we have a better understanding, we can go about our lives and be a bit happier with each other." Because we've spent all this time together, and I think, and I hope, I wish they thought, that time is important and you shouldn't waste it, because I can actually say they're almost dead. My dad having heart issues, and my mom just never-ending smoking. They're almost dead. And it's sad, it upsets me. Because all I want to do is have a moment with all, like my mom. And I don't even care if my brother's not involved because of his mental illness, whatever you call that, social, antisocial ways. But all I wanted was a time with my mom and my dad. It'd be great if my brother also was involved. And part of me is like, it's too late, but then like, it's not too late. I was getting off topic. There's a lot to talk about. Oh, egos. I think I was talking about egos. Yes, wasting time. Why? Like, why would you think that your life would be better if you divorced and remarried with someone else? I don't know if there's any cheating going on, but if there was, that means no matter the situation, they're just both shitty people. Because once again, this reverts back to bad communication skills. That's what it is. Bad communication skills. Not in general, maybe in general, but in regards to the marriage. And I've been told the truths about this. Like the certain things that I wasn't around for, and that my dad's done, and that my mom's done. And once again, if you're gonna have a baby with someone, if you're gonna marry someone, you have to sit down every so often and reevaluate your intentions, expectations, your willingness to compromise, and having support, emotional support, or else you'll get two kids that are emotionally scarred. Because they're emotionally neglected, as the husband and the wife emotionally neglected themselves. Notice that I'm not talking about money, because we all know money divides us and shouldn't be a problem. And I'm speaking to both sides, my mother and my father. But yet, my mother is chasing after the money, and that's not a mother I want to have. That's not someone I want to introduce my kids to if I were to have kids. Forcing me to want to have kids after both of my parents die. It's embarrassing. My parents are embarrassing people. I do not want to have more friends and introduce them to my parents. They are embarrassing. and they need to change their morals in how they look at life. They need to better their communication skills. It would be really awkward, though, to see them talk to anyone in any way, like, are you okay? How are you feeling? Is there anything I can get you? Like, my mother's done that more than ever to me right now, only for the purpose to win me over in some sort of way, to win over her respect. But I equally love and hate both of my parents at the moment. It's sad. But it's weird to imagine my dad being like, you wanna do this? Like, you wanna go out here, hang out? Not like hang out, but like, this is something. Yep, this is something I don't imagine my parents doing. Like my dad being like, hey, wanna go to the movies and see blah blah blah? And my mom's like, okay. Off to the movies. Like, that is embarrassing that they can't do that. And I know they're incapable of doing that with other people. But I can definitely see them using other people as if they both got remarried or into a relationship, like off on their own. I can see them using people for their own happiness or for their money. My mom is someone that would use someone for their house and their money. We use them for their happiness. If my dad, I see him using someone for their looks and everything, lustfully, see them in a lustful manner, and use them for their mother-like skills, like making lunches and doing this. What does this bring us to? My parents, since they've been together so long, that it's obvious that they complete each other. They utilize each other. They use each other without knowing it. And that doesn't even bother me. I'm not saying my dad's incapable of doing things that my mother can, and vice versa, but they suck at it, and it's embarrassing. They've been so dependent on each other when it comes to my mom making lunches, doing laundry, cooking, all that, motherly. Those motherly tasks. And when it comes to my dad working, providing, fixing, being a handyman, they have depended on each other. And that's why the house is so great. That's why this house is great. Because, well, I make my own bed, and I feed myself, but look at the bed is made. Look at that. This room, it took like 2 people to recreate this room. Look at the TV's mounted, the wires, I did some of this. Look at there's curtains, it looks like something has a theme. There's these huge plants that are a bit messy, but that's not a problem. Look at this house, or this room has like a look to it. It is kind of messy with a lot of trinkets. Look, it has color, it's clean. It's a house that works, but it doesn't feel like a home. It lacks love. It lacks a family that operates. I'm sorry, cats, for waking you. The cats get fed, the cats get attention. There's coffee being made. There's someone goes food shopping, and someone uses the other person's money to go food shopping, and then when my dad, he gets a day off and he opens the fridge, it's stocked, and he just gets a thing, and it works. That American dream feel, that Americana sort of thing. But yet they can't, they're emotionally warped. And I'm not going to blame how they are due to harassment. Because this was like this, I would say, long ago as well. It was like this, the lack of communication. If something went wrong before I was born, then why didn't they have a talk? And I like to blame this mentality. Because now, thinking about our emotions first, especially the kind of people you call millennials, thinking about your emotions before anything else is important. It's very important. And I felt like relationships in the past, from the 80s and everything before that, there's a certain chunk of time where it was just awkward. It's just, there's this expectation, you get married, have kids, and go. And you just go. And you just keep going. Yes. But now it's just weird. I can't imagine my parents being thoughtful and, not thoughtful, but emotionally supportive with anything. Because they just can't. Have I covered everything? Well, the other thing is, if my mom is still going through with this, because I know my dad is feeling some heartbreak with this, and I bet he wished this worked out, and I'm not sure if he understands what went wrong or why it didn't go as expected, but I know he's hurting. But the confusing part is my mother. One morning, she woke me up, she was crying, and she just needed a hug. She's like, I'm going over to my friend's house. And I'm like, oh great, are you gonna tell them all this and how you feel and how angry you are? And create this unbiased opinion, and it's not their problem, so why are you telling them all of this information? And why aren't they being real friends and telling you that you're wrong? Instead of just enabling you and being like, yeah, go chase the money bags. Just try to get money out of them, because that's a good human that just thinks about money first before, real solutions, right? But my mother, she woke me up one morning. My buddy was staying over, Joey. But she wakes me up, she comes here, and I sit up, I'm like, what's wrong? And it's like, I really don't want to hug her. And I'm like, good for you for crying. Good for you. You deserve that cry. But why the fuck are you crying? Why are you upset? You seem all fine though. You're like, I just want to be happy. I'm thinking about me. It's like, I'm gonna get money out of him because I deserve it. No, you don't, Mom. You don't deserve it. My dad doesn't even deserve his own money. My mom doesn't deserve my dad's money. No one is deserving by default. That's a great way to think. Be neutral, just completely neutral, not like this or that. Just be like, if none of you can operate as civilized human beings and communicate in a civil way, especially your mom, then you just don't deserve it. I'm not gonna be like, pick sides, so that's why I'm gonna say you both don't deserve anything. Because you failed to operate emotionally in the gears of this house and family. They have just failed. But at the same time, Mom, why are you coming to my room crying? Why are you upset? I'm not sure if those are fake tears or not. I'm not gonna feel bad for you. You're doing this. If you're upset, then stop. If you're upset, then use your socializing skills instead of say, hey, I want this. Oh, I didn't get it, I give up. They're both giving up, and it's just sad. It's just very sad. It has caused me to lose motivation to find a job and to continue progress in my life. And it's so sad. Days are just going by, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't feel like leaving the house. I've been crying every night, crying so loud. I'm surprised I haven't woken up anybody. And I've been trying to reach out to my friends for support. I know it's weird. I talked about my mom reaching out to friends, but the thing is, I'm not going through the divorce. I can say that's not my problem, but it is affecting me. So it has become a problem. Not mine, but a problem that is affecting me. And when I get depressed, I feel cold. And so, and then my mom, some days ago, talks about, I'm gonna go to like a therapist, I'm gonna get help, and I'm like, what? Are you gonna tell the therapist I've been through years of abuse because both sides have failed to communicate? A therapist, and this is why I, or my mother, should not like therapists. Not them themselves, but the idea of a therapist. It costs money. You have limited time. And I would love to talk to someone about my problems. Like this. Hey, let's meet up, blah, blah, blah. Or let's come over my house and let's talk. I want to vent. What I'm trying to say is that the only people I want to talk about my problems to is my own family. At once. All of them. At once. And then when I'm done talking, one of them can talk about from their perspective. And then we keep going until we think about a compromise or where it went wrong or what's wrong, and then fix it and not let our egos get in the way. Not let money be the issue. And if it is, that's where people make compromises. And that's where I bring up this point. Why the fuck would you think he's gonna start trusting you and supporting you financially when you're yelling at him? Why the fuck would you think everything would change if you're actively harassing him? Actually harassing him. There is no trust. Probably that's why this issue is a thing. There is no trust. So why would you think you get financially supported? There's a lack of trust. Because there's a lack of communication. That is the core problem. If I can edit, I'd put big text being like, the key to a great relationship, friendship, marriage, and love is communication. And if there is no communication, trust, willingness, let me start over, blah. The key aspects to a good relationship, friendship, marriage, and overall love is communication, trust, willingness to make compromises, to make sacrifices. There's a couple of others. Expectations. What do you expect? And what do you hope for? And if you can discuss about that, just sit down and we'll talk about it, write it all down, and evaluate like every 6 months or every year. Then you will have a successful marriage, relationship, friendship. You will have a lot of trust. Why am I talking about this as if this is gonna happen? Because I don't. It's embarrassing when I talk to one of my friends and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they say, nothing, just hanging out with my family, just chilling, watching TV, hanging out, having some laughs. And then all of a sudden, I feel jealous and embarrassed at the same time. I feel very embarrassed and angry. I get angry quickly. I'm like, I wish I could have that. I wish I could have had that. I get angry. I get pissed off. And if I do have kids before my parents die, both my parents die, I'm gonna be so embarrassed to show my kid, son or daughter, to my parents. I'm gonna be like, yep, these are your grandparents. These are your grandparents. And guess what? They're gonna put on a fake front. Oh, hello. Yep. They're gonna ask me, hey, why is one of your parents over here and one of your parents over here? Shouldn't they be together and loving? I'm like, yeah, I know. They just couldn't communicate. And then my girlfriend or wife is gonna be like, honey, calm down, she doesn't understand. And it's just gonna be a domino effect. It's just gonna be a failure of marriages. And you can already see it. You can already see it. You can see a lot of emotional scarring within the family tree. You can see a lot of failed marriages. And I don't want to... I already have the anger of my dad. I have both characteristics, but I have the worst of both of them. And I don't like it. It's crazy that I can pick up on all of these things for an hour. In an hour and talk about them in an hour. But yet, I'm not sure who's going to listen to this. But if you are family, then if you are family other than my mother, father, brother, then yeah, you might be related to someone involved in this problem, but it's not your business. It's not my business, but I'm living in the house that this problem is happening in. Now leading me to the topic, what is going to happen to this house? The last time there was a divorce, and yes, there was a divorce before. Then I was young and knew a little bit less, but I can understand that still affects, those events still affect now, because I'm not entirely sure why they moved back together. Maybe they're willing to do marriage counseling, and my mother tells me marriage counseling didn't work because it's not for everyone. Well, you know who it is for. It's for people that are willing to sit down, talk, and wanting to socialize and get better. But they are stubborn. They're very stubborn and do not want to change. They could possibly just die alone and sad, which that would be sad. Don't know why I brought that up. But what is going to happen in this house? What happened? Okay. What is going to happen to this house? What is going to happen to me? What is going to happen to my brother? And yes, it does matter. Well, of course, what I would love to happen is for nothing to happen to this house. Because my dad has worked so hard on it, and my mother has worked so hard to keep the gears turning, along with my dad, to keep this house an active house. And the gears are getting rusty. And from day to day now, I don't know what's going to happen. What fight is going to break out. What news my mom is going to confront me with. And how many times am I fucking going to cry in this room at like midnight to like, from midnight to 4 a.m. Who am I going to rely on for emotional support? Not my mom and dad, of course, but... And this in the part 1 of this video have really expressed the issues that are not said and that are kind of, put under the rug, and people are just too afraid to speak of them. And my mom's side of the family will tell me, you know how many years your mom's gone through harassment through your dad? And it's like, you know what? I'm not sure if my dad can be harassed. My dad, anyone has the capability to harass, but my dad does not have the time to be harassed because he's always at work. But then he comes home sometimes to my mother, a bit unappreciative of what my dad does, but I'm not going to bow to dad like he's a god, like, thank you for this house, thank you for everything, because he's got problems of his own. He has got some versions of anger issues that are, let's say he's like, Austin, you should do this, and I'm like, no thanks, I like doing this my way, and he like does this angry face like, whatever, I was just trying to like, recommend something, don't have to be like that. He does that. He does have emotional problems, as much as my mom has emotional issues. Not knowing how to deal with people saying no on little suggestions. Or just saying no in general. Because if someone's doing something a certain way for a long time, and they're fine with it, it's just a little thing like, let's say like, I brush my teeth like this, or I take a shower like this, or personal stuff. He's like, you should try doing this. And I know he's talking to me like that, like a father, but it's there's a part of me that's like, it's kind of late. If I was like 17, 18, I would be like open to these suggestions. But now that I'm like, I can think for myself, and I'm not dumb. Not completely dumb. I'm like, no, and he kind of gets very upset. And my parents both kind of suffer from this. They get upset like that in childish ways. Very immature reactions. And as you could tell from this video and the last, that since I haven't learned real lessons from my parents, like really good lessons, I learn from their mistakes. And that's that. I learn from their faults. I've been forced to, because how else am I going to learn and develop as a human that's trying his best to be, socially acceptable person for the public. Because that's what we should all strive to be. People that can be in public for long periods of time and be accepted. Not liked or hated, but just can operate in public. And I can see that my parents struggle with that. And it's sad because I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be anything like my parents. I have to be better than that. Yep, there I went off thinking and trying to move my mustache out of the way. Which is, I haven't shaven in a long time, as you can see. But yeah, I think I've covered a lot about everything. As I said, I'm going into each day not knowing what bad news is happening, what fights are happening. But all I know is that for the most part, or more than the most part, that my mother needs to slow down. Because it's been quiet. My mother's been enjoying living in this house for the past somewhat days without needing to contribute financially or anything. She's not really contributing. Never mind. It's like, how can you be so angry while like having a bed and a roof over your house? Like, and it looks this nice, and still be mad. And having a couple days where my dad wasn't there or stayed over because he felt the need to like get away from his own house. That is sad. That's just sad. Buying groceries with the husband's money, enjoying that shit. Someone should, if it was someone else, they'd appreciate it, or it wouldn't be this situation actually if it was another person. But I don't know what I'm going into each day, and it saddens me that this has happened to my parents. That this makes me realize a lot about my family. And like it makes me reflect on like the previous days. And how I'm just like, time is flying by fast and I just want a moment with my family. Even if we just sit down on the couch and watch a movie, or we all just go somewhere. I would just love to like force everyone like into my car and we like drive up north to the Fun Spot Arcade. I think my family would enjoy that very much. I think they would think it's awesome, because it is awesome. My brother He's emotionally scarred and mentally fucked up. Probably from all the pot he smokes over and over and over. He's become brain dead, paranoid, disconnected with the public. And he pissed off he pissed me and my mom off. But then something went on with my mom, and I haven't heard from him in a while. So that's that. I'm worried about him, but right now I'm not in the mood to like be like, yo, what's up, bro? Our family's crumbling, wanna hang out? Not too much in a mood for that. But I guess I'll go now and make my bed. My mom should be getting back from her appointment, some appointment.